What's going on, Laker fans? Appreciate you guys tuning in. I apologize that you had to watch that performance. What an awful, embarrassing loss for the Los Angeles Lakers. We're going to spend a lot of time on it. I don't really know what to tell you, to be honest with you. I thought this was, hey, they're going to handle business tonight, take care of the Portland Trail Blazers on Sunday, and then get the Los Angeles Clippers coming up on Tuesday. Not the case. Lakers lose 130 to 112. Embarrassing loss. I'm probably going to say embarrassing 35 times tonight. I was waiting for AD. He's coming on right now. Let's take a quick listen here. Says AD. Brooklyn got into a good rhythm. I don't know. He's not going to say anything I think matters, to be honest with you. Listen to Darvin Ham. Nothing really. I didn't think it was anything crazy. Listen to LeBron. He didn't look like there was too much of a concern there. They're going to go watch some NFL football over the weekend. This was arguably the worst loss of the season. And to be honest with you, I didn't really hear any explanation from the Lakers, so I don't really know what to tell you. For me, I will tell you this. I thought that the way the Lakers started the game is what I expected. Went up by 12. There was a moment before the first half ended. I think it was up to 11, and you felt like Lakers were in control of the game. I spent a lot of time talking about in the pregame show. I think I'm an idiot. I'm just going to flat out say I think I'm an idiot because every time I get sold on the Lakers, thinking in myself that this team is they're turning a corner. They're going to start turning it on. Hey, look, they beat Oklahoma City. They beat the Dallas Mavericks. I mentioned in the postgame when I was doing it with you guys after the Dallas game, I don't want to get too excited. I want to see them win 8 of 10 games or 7 of 9 or something like that, just to show that, hey, okay, we woke up. We're fine, and we're going to start putting things together. If we had some excuses before, let's get rid of them. I'm doing the pregame show today, and I'm talking about how I'm just basically lumping Brooklyn and Portland together. And guys, not only are you guys going to win those 2 games, embarrass those 2 teams, so guys can get some rest. You can get ready for that Clippers game. You'll have won 4 games in a row. You'll have won 6 of 8 and kind of keep things rolling here. Not to say that anything's perfect, but 2 quality wins, and then you get 2 crappy teams at home. Let's take care of business. I think I'm an idiot. I think that's all it is, because why do I get sold on this Lakers team that they're going to turn a corner? I got no reason to think that this team is going to turn a corner. We're 43 games into the NBA season, and the team is still below 500. So why would I think that this team is good enough to give them the benefit of the doubt versus any team in the NBA? It's idiotic. It's literally, it's stupid. I'm an idiot. I'm going to go back to that. They get their asses handed to them by the Brooklyn Nets. It's not even like, it would have been pathetic if the Lakers won this game by 2 or 4 points. But this wasn't even a 2 or 4 point game. By the time you got to the fourth quarter with 6 minutes left, it was lights out. Brooklyn had blown you out. If you're at the game watching at crypto.com arena, why are you still there with 5 minutes left to go? Go try to beat traffic. That's how bad tonight's game was. That's how bad it was. I thought the Lakers gave the Brooklyn Nets some life there right at the end of the first half. I know you might not think it's a big deal, but Brooklyn was down 11. They were down 12 a little bit earlier, but they were down 11 with maybe 2 minutes left to go in the first half. And I thought when they got it down to 6, I'm like, Brooklyn's kind of got to feel good about themselves. They gave up 68 points in the first half, and they're only down by 6. Look at the Lakers scoring in the second half, or look at the Lakers scoring after the first quarter. 37 points in the first quarter, 31 in the second quarter, 22 and 22 in the third and the fourth. Look at Brooklyn. They put up 28 in the first quarter, 34, 38, and 30. Lakers, absolutely no defense against the Brooklyn Nets from, really, you could say from the third quarter on, but specifically in the second half, they give up 68 points. They give up 38 points in just that third quarter. Got their asses kicked. They got their asses kicked against a team that was 3-14 in their last 17 games. They had lost 9 of their last 10. That just lost to a Portland Trailblazers team that hasn't been able to really beat anybody as of late. It's an embarrassing loss. I got no other way to put it. Just an embarrassing loss. And this is the same old typical Lakers, kind of nonchalant. We wake up and we could turn the switch on whenever. It's idiotic. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot for buying into this stuff all the time. I really am. I'm going to continue to say that. I'm going to say that it was an embarrassing loss, and I'm going to say I'm an idiot. That's going to be my two themes for tonight. How about all the Lakers whining tonight? Have you ever seen a team whine so much to the referees? And listen, maybe they did get a foul and the call wasn't made. Maybe they didn't foul on one end and they were called for a foul. Maybe that was the case. Maybe they should have got an and one. But damn, you guys are really looking at the refs to bail you out on each one of these plays. I forget who it was, but I heard Spectrum just say it. I forget which player it was on the other side. Maybe it was Mikal Bridges. I don't know who it was. But he said something to the effect of, the Lakers were paying attention to the referees, so we were just going to take advantage of it. Every single play. I mean, LeBron would not stop whining to the referees. D'Lo on multiple occasions, begging the referees to bail him out. Brooklyn Nets weren't looking at the referees. The Brooklyn Nets walked into the game, and whether they were just gaining momentum as you got in the second half, whether they were just obviously putting themselves in a position where their confidence were starting to grow. Of course it was. Why wouldn't it? The Lakers gave them every reason to stay into that game and then watch their confidence grow. But the bitching and complaining, it's like, Jesus, can I just watch a team hustle for 48 minutes and live with the results? It's almost like they were asking the referees to bail them out. That part was an incredibly, incredibly annoying part of the game. Okay, I got a little bit more here that I want to complain about. Listening to the postgame show when it just started on Spectrum, and I'm just listening to, Geeter, James Worthy, Meta's on there, and I kept hearing the, Lakers took them for granted. The Nets felt disrespected, and, if you disrespect your opponent, this can happen. Something like this can happen. I got to be honest, Laker fans, and I'll be honest with you guys because I know I can be. I don't think it's that. I really don't. They're 21-22. Can we stop making it sound like the Lakers have the same record as the Boston Celtics? Can we stop making it sound like Lakers are a top 2-3 team in the Western Conference? Can we stop making it sound like they have the record of Milwaukee or Philadelphia, or they're 10-12 games over 500? I don't think the Brooklyn Nets felt disrespected. I think the Brooklyn Nets are looking at the other side, and they're not that scared of the Los Angeles Lakers. I mean, to be completely honest with you, when we sit here and say that the Lakers just took their opponent for granted, can we stop pretending like the Lakers are really a top team in the NBA? They're not. They're nowhere near it. They're ranked 10th in the Western Conference. And we win 2 games in a row, and all of a sudden everybody starts getting excited about it and saying to themselves, oh, look at the Lakers now. Everything's going to churn. They're churning a corner. This roster, I mean, as is, do you really think they're going to do that much this year? This team, as it is, as it's constructed, is something just going to churn around, and they're 43 games in. Bron and Anthony Davis have played in almost every single game. They're still 10th in the Western Conference. Maybe I'm going a little too hard at the Lakers tonight. Maybe I'm just frustrated watching a team that I can't fully understand on a night-in, night-out basis. But the whole, we really disrespected our opponent. We played down to our opponent. They're 10th in the West. This is not, again, I'm going to go back to it. If Minnesota lost to the Brooklyn Nets, you can say you played down to your opponent. The Lakers have 22 losses. The Brooklyn Nets have 24. Did they play down to their opponent, or is this kind of what the Lakers are? I just have a difficult time playing that card of, and I get it, don't play with your food and all that stuff. I say that. I was saying that in the pregame show, don't play with your food. But I was saying that more because Lakers are at home and they're coming off a couple good losses. But to sit here and make the case that the Lakers play down to their competition, maybe this is just who the Lakers are, and this is not playing down to their competition. it means Brooklyn's only a couple games worse than the Los Angeles Lakers when it comes to the standings. So, that's what I think about that. I'll get into some of the individual players. I starred some of your guys' comments, at least the ones that were from earlier, and I'll try to get to as many of these that I can. Let me see. Oh, this is good. All right, let me read a couple of these, and then let's go from here. All right. Bargain shopper, awful. I couldn't explain it any better. Oh, don't worry. I'm going to spend some time on Rui. Is it just me, or did Rui literally score 0 points tonight? You had 0 points tonight. I had 0 points tonight. Everybody on this chat had 0 points tonight, and Rui Hachimura had 0 points tonight. He ended up with 0, right? Let me just double check here. It just only takes a second. Yep, 0. Didn't have a point. We'll talk about Rui in just a second. Guess our only chance is to fight for that play-in spot again. Again is the right way to put it, and shaking my head is the right way to put it, because that seems to be where the Lakers always are every single year. What the hell was that third quarter, Sliwa? Third quarter, Lakers were outscored 38-22. So keep that one in mind there. Let me see if I had another one on here. I'm going to get into Dejounte Murray in just a little bit. Max Anderson says he's on the way. I don't think he's on the way. I wish he was on the way, but I don't think that's going to happen. That's just a personal opinion for me, unless the Lakers make a completely different look. Xavier says we can beat teams like the Thunder and the Mavs, but can't beat the Nets. Make it make sense. I can't, my brother. I can't. Genuinely, I don't have an answer for you. I wish I could make it make sense, but I can't make it make sense. All right, a couple of these other ones I'm going to get into. I'm going to go through. I got a lot here, super chat, so I'm going to get to all those in just a second. If you send a super, 100%, I'm going to get into it, and I'll do my best to get into the comments that are not the super chats. Okay, let me go through some of the stats here for the Lakers, because I think it's important to do it. Let me share. I'm going to share the stats with you guys so we could walk through this together, and together we can both get frustrated together. Why get frustrated by yourself when we could get frustrated together? I'd prefer that we get frustrated together. Okay, so this is the Lakers stat line. Let's start with Brooklyn. Brooklyn dropped 130 on the Lakers. Let me go ahead and say that again. The Brooklyn Nets, who are 3-14 in their last 17 games, dropped 130 on the Los Angeles Lakers. Nets embarrassed the Lakers 130-112. Let me take out the chat so that you guys can actually read all this. Look at this. Look at Cam freaking Thomas. Cam Thomas, 13 of 18 from the field off the bench. The dude's a baller anyways. I think he's averaging 20 points a game, and his 20 points are all coming off the bench, so it's not like the guy can't ball. 4 of 7, 32 minutes of play, 33 points for Cam Thomas. Former Laker, Lonnie Walker, 15 points off the bench. Dennis Smith Jr., 11 points off the bench. That's 44. What they have, 59 points just off the bench. If I did my math right, I think it's 59 that they had. Let's go look at the Lakers bench here real quick. Jared Vanderbilt had 12 points, hit a couple threes, and I got to be honest with you, every time he took a three, I'm like, Brooklyn's more than happy to see him take a three, but give him the credit. There's 12. There's 5 from Christian Wood. Max Christie had 6. A lot of zeros up here. A lot of zeros. Rui Hachimura, 15 minutes, 0 for 6 from the field, 0 points. Can't have that happen. Austin Reeves, 4 of 12 from the field in 33 minutes, only had 9 points and 5 assists. I'll keep going here because I do want to get into some of the other players. Braun did not have a good game. I know his numbers say 24, 11, and 5. 9 of 22 from the field, 2 of 5 from the three-point line. Missed a lot of gimmies around the basket, as did Anthony Davis, by the way. AD missed a lot of gimmies around the basket. Was turnovers. What did he end up with? 4 turnovers. Sloppy with his play. Like I mentioned, complaining a lot to the referees. That was not a fun game to watch. And all the individual players that you look here, You play zero defense. You give up, like I said, almost 60 points off the bench. And your players that you're hoping, obviously you're paying close attention to and you're hoping are contributing on a night in, night out basis. You get nothing from Rui. Austin Reeves was awful. LeBron, like I mentioned, what I said. AD, pretty good night, 26 points, had 12 rebounds. D'Lo, pretty good night, had 20 points, another 7 assists. I'll take that from D'Angelo Russell every night. But zero defense for the Lakers. Couldn't get any stops. Looked bad. And this was overall just a crappy game. An embarrassing game, like I said. All right, let's look at some of your guys' comments here, and then we'll keep going. By the way, just a heads up here for the rest of the show, and I know I didn't give much of a preview here. I will talk about some of that trade chatter with Dejounte Murray and some of the stuff that went down earlier today. I was doing my radio show when some of those rumors were coming out. A lot of these people I see on a day-to-day basis. Jovan Buha, obviously of The Athletic. We'll talk a little bit about the Blazers game, and we'll look at the NBA standings after the Lakers lost. So we're going to get into all that stuff. Let me get to some of these supers here. I know we got a lot of people that want to comment about the Lakers. Let's just start with AR here. AR, thank you very much for the super, brother. I appreciate it. Slee, we just suck. Seriously, we don't have good players. Trade everybody except LeBron and AD. We need a new coach also. Thank you for the great show, Slee. AR, thank you for the super. Okay, let's stay with this here for a quick second about trading all the players that we have. We don't have any good players. Hey, I think the Lakers should be open for business. I think this 1,000% should be a completely open market that you look at. By the way, I'm going to change the mojo here. We keep losing. We had this hat for a couple times, and then this hat got us a couple W's. Sometimes we just got to change it up. I don't think we can put champions up when you just got your asses kicked by the Brooklyn Nets. So we'll go with this one right here. I got a story for you guys about this Kobe Bryant Mamba mentality book too that I'm going to get to in a little bit as well. I think the Lakers should 100% be open for business. I was talking about today on the radio show that I do, and one of the points that I was making, what I was trying to reference is, Travis, who I work with in the morning, was saying, well, what if the Lakers go on some type of a run here? What if they start playing some really good basketball before the trade deadline? It's like, okay, maybe they do. Maybe they play really good basketball before the trade deadline. I would still make the trade. I'm not sold on this roster. I'm just not. I'm not sold on the roster. And if you think that this team is good enough, and again, what's the goal? Is the goal just to make the playoffs and win a round or two? Or I thought the goal was you got to the Western Conference Finals last year. The goal this year was supposed to be you got a chance of trying to compete for an actual NBA championship. If that's not the goal, I don't know. I'm a little confused there. I thought that's what the goal was. And I'm not saying that the Lakers should be they should be irresponsible. I'm not saying that, you really hurt your future because you're going all in on something that you're chasing that doesn't exist. But I don't think this roster is good enough to go make an actual run. I mean, I feel like we're fooling ourselves if we do. They're 43 games in, guys. They're 43 games in. That's the thing that I want to keep emphasizing. It's one thing to have played 20 games, 25 games, 30 games. They're 43 games in, and they're still having performances like this. You could sit here and say, well, which team is the Lakers? Is it the team that beat the Dallas Mavericks? Is it the team that beat the Oklahoma City Thunder? Or is it the team here that beat the Brooklyn Nets? Got to put it all together. Because, yes, you might have some good losses or some good wins, but you also have bad losses. You also have good teams against good teams. I mean, they're all over the map. I don't know what the hell they are. AR, I appreciate the super. But I think they are 100% should be completely open for business. And I don't know what to tell you, but tonight's performance was just trash. Seiko, if I'm saying you're pronouncing your name right, look at this. It's comments like this that this is why I love YouTube so much. 4:30 a.m. South African time to watch Vando outscore Reeves and Rui combined. Reeves has been a serious defensive liability this year, should be traded. Seiko, thank you very much for the comment number one and tuning into the live stream and the fact that you're up at 4:30 in the morning watching the game and then and hanging out here after the game to talk some Lakers basketball. I appreciate it. Thank you very, very much for the super as well. Um, Vando outscoring Reeves and Rui. Yeah, I did not think that that was a sentence that I was going to have coming into tonight's game, but that's what Vando did do. Now, you know who else outscored Rui? Anyone on the basketball floor outscored Rui Hachimura tonight because he didn't have a point. He had 0 points. The Reeves has been a serious defensive liability this year. Let me tell you something about Austin Reeves, and this is just the cold hard facts and the truth. Teams are going after him. They're seeing Austin Reeves on the other side, and they're saying, cool, we're going to make you work. By the way, you know, if you now all of a sudden got to play defense on every possession because teams are going after you, and now all of a sudden you got to have your legs ready to go on the other side, you can certainly tell that that's being a challenge. So, Seiko, thank you for tuning in, and thank you for the super. I appreciate it. All right, let's get another one of these in. Francis Mendoza, we played really well in the first half. Embarrassing. I wouldn't say really well, Francis, because they gave up 62 points in the first half to Brooklyn. Now, what I didn't know is the 62 was actually going to be the better half because then they were going to give up 68 in the second half, a total of 130 points. First half, they played, I would say, okay. I wouldn't say great because I didn't think their defense was great. Their offense was good, but they weren't getting stops, and I thought they gave them just enough momentum and just enough to feel good about themselves that Brooklyn walked into the second half saying, we still got a chance at this thing. Max Anderson, why is Ham playing Taurean Prince more than Rui and Vando? What did Taurean Prince end up playing? Taurean Prince, I'm not completely against Taurean Prince. What do you have? 29 minutes tonight. Everybody was a minus. So Taurean Prince was a minus 12. AD was a minus 12. D'Lo was a minus 16. Vanderbilt was a minus 10. Rui in his 15 minutes didn't score a point, but was a minus 1. I don't know if Ham playing Taurean Prince more than Rui and Vando was the difference of this game. But if you want to make that case, you can make that case. Max, thank you for the super. I appreciate it. Brandon, thank you for the super. We might need to package Rui with D'Lo because it's hard to give Rui minutes, especially when he's too small to play the 5 and too slow to play the 3, leaving him only at the 4, but Braun plays the 4. Look, Rui's an important player if he's playing well. I'm going to go back to something that Brian Windhorst told me when I was doing one of my radio shows. This was back in the summer. And I said it in the summer too. I said, out of all the contracts, the one I'm concerned about was Rui's. 3 years, $17 million a year, and you were basically paying Rui Hachimura. You weren't paying him for what he's been his whole career. You were paying him for his playoff run. That was 3-4 week playoff run. So it was a little dangerous to do that. And I think his inconsistencies this year shouldn't be a shock or a surprise. He's been inconsistent for most of his career. Now he has dealt with injuries and everything else. Maybe he comes back on Sunday and drops 18 or 20 or something along those lines, but it's more of a surprise. It's not more what's expected. So I think that's a lot of problems for the Lakers right now. It's one of the many problems for the Lakers right now. Brandon, I appreciate the super. Thank you very much for sending in that super. All right, one more super here that I'm going to get into. Dentarifi, if I pronounce it right. LeBron was a big reason LA went down 20 in the fourth quarter. Lost again, father time in this game. Yeah, LeBron wasn't good this game. If you're looking for me to defend LeBron tonight, there's nothing to defend. He wasn't good tonight. He wasn't. Missed a lot of gimmies around the basket. Heard him post-game show basically saying that part of the main reason why the Lakers lost this game was because there was no answer for Cam Thomas. He's right about that. He's not wrong in that, but that doesn't mean that LeBron did not have a lot to do with that poor second half for the Lakers. I thought he was leading the group when it came to complaining. It was, frankly, kind of annoying to watch. But ultimately for the Lakers, that's an L, and LeBron had something to do with that L as well. So That's on all these guys. Appreciate all the supers. I just wanted to get through those here real quick. Got a couple things that I want to. Got a couple other things that I want to get into here. Feel free to send your comments. I'll do my best to get to them. NBA standings real quick. So what does this mean for the Lakers? Actually, let me show you guys this because I think this is actually a little bit interesting. Let me share my screen here real quick. Anytime it's time to share in misery, we're going to share in misery together, okay? I'm going to do it myself. Share it with me. Brooklyn Nets. So for those, as bad as they've been, they're still a game away from being in the number 10 spot. So I'm sure the Brooklyn Nets are saying to themselves, well, maybe we could make that playing tournament. It's a weird team. You know, I was talking about this in the pregame show. They don't have a star, right? They got a lot of role players. When they made those trades, when they traded Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, they traded away 2 stars, and then they just picked up a ton of role players. And they actually confused me tonight. They played so well tonight. I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, how is this team not more effective? They looked really, really good against the Lakers. How much does that just have to do with the Lakers making every team look good? Because that clearly seems to be something that the Lakers have done in the past. But however you look at it, that's where the Brooklyn Nets are right now. They're fighting for that number 10 spot. Where are the Lakers? The number 10 spot. So, again, I'm going to go back to something I said a little bit earlier. For all those times that we sit back and, you know, we say, the Lakers disrespecting the Brooklyn Nets, or the Lakers play down to their competition. Lakers are not playing down to their competition. This is their competition. I mean, I hate to break the news. When you're a game below 500, this is your competition. You can play up to your competition, which the Lakers did for 2 games, but the Brooklyn Nets and the Lakers, they're not that far off. I'll show you a stat here of what I'm talking about. Go look at the league. Here are the Lakers, 21 and 22. Here are the Brooklyn Nets. They're 3 games apart. Come on, guys. Can we stop making it sound like the Lakers are this the chatter and the conversation around the Lakers? I know it's the Lakers. I know they're a very popular franchise, but I got a lot of doubt about this roster. I definitely got a lot of doubt about this Lakers team. Could it have just been one bad loss? Sure, it could have. They're 21 and 22. 21 and 22. That's their record. 43 games in. We're enough games in to where I think we all understand that this team is this team is most definitely an incredibly inconsistent average team up to this far. Underdog Fantasy, proud partner of the channel, proud partner of the show, and I appreciate them very much. I'm going to give you guys a code here real quick to look at. The code is HoopsLA. You put in that code HoopsLA, and you could be a part of Underdog Fantasy. Take advantage of what it got right here. They'll match your first deposit of up to $100. So deposit $100 now. They'll match you. You have $200 in your account, $100 free dollars to play with. You don't have to do 100. You can put $10 in, $5 in, $50 in, $25 in, $80 in. You pick. But up to $100, they'll match your first deposit. I was going to play some NFL games for tomorrow. What do you guys think? Play some NFL games? Let's do a little NFL. Let's get the hell away from the NBA here real quick. Lamar Jackson, 1.5 touchdown passes. Higher or lower? Higher or lower? Lamar Jackson, 1.5 touchdown passes. You could put that in there. CJ Stroud, an absolute stud in his rookie year. I'm going to take this. They have this option here, 1.5 touchdown passes. I'm going to go higher because it pays 1.25. I'm going to put $20 in here. Basically, I could win $75 off my $20 bet. Use that code HoopsLA. Support the channel. Would greatly appreciate you supporting the partners of the channel. If this is no interest and you have no interest in daily fantasy sports, no problem at all. But if you play DFS or you have interest in playing DFS, which is daily fantasy sports, try Underdog Fantasy. Try HoopsLA. Put in that code and be a part of it. I'm going to have a couple. A couple games going on for tomorrow. Like I said, Lamar Jackson, CJ Stroud. It's the first game. It's Baltimore and it's Houston Texans. Here are my picks. It's that easy. And I appreciate you guys hanging out as I pass on that messaging right there. Okay, back to your comments here. Let's see what we got here. See what we got here. Been posting Lakers stuff about this 7-game stretch, and the only competition are the Clippers, then get embarrassed in the first game of the stretch. Shaking my effing head. Yeah, you're right about that. And, it's not just you, too. I've sat here as well, kind of painting the picture. It's like, hey, look at the way the week started. You had the Oklahoma City and the Dallas Mavericks, and you got rid of those two. You guys performed that well to start off the week, and then Brooklyn is the game that the Lakers fall apart on. You got the Portland game coming up in a couple of days. Why should that one be? Why should that one be any different? Right? Like I always find it interesting why the Lakers, why we give them the benefit of the doubt, and I'm an idiot for giving them the benefit of the doubt. Lakers forgot to play. What else we got here? Lakers scored 40 points in the first quarter, then chilled in the second half, underestimating the Nets. I'm going to go back to it. Guys, I don't know about underestimating the Nets. I think that it's who the Lakers are. I don't know what to tell you. This is what they are. Embarrassing. If anything, I like this comment a lot. If anything, the Mavs and the Thunder played down to us. I think that's more likely than the Lakers playing up to the competition. Everyone looks good against LA. Cam Thomas is a mini star. Cam Thomas balled out today. What's kind of interesting, what I always find interesting is teams like the Brooklyn Nets that we don't get to see. We get to see twice a year, right? You're always kind of curious, what does that roster look like? What's that team look like? Blah, blah, blah. And a lot of these guys, whether it's because they're playing the Lakers, they take their game to another level. Maybe it's because they're playing at LA and crypto, whatever the reason is. A lot of these dudes take their games to another level, and they certainly did it tonight. See what else we got here. Rui is the only guy playing defense. Leave him alone. Come on. Guys, Rui was 0 for 6 tonight. Lakers gave up 130 points. I mean, it's okay. We can criticize players. It's okay. All right. Slee, give us an honest grade on Darvin Ham this season. C-. It's a fair grade. C-. C- because they're 21 and 22. They had expectations coming in. If you don't make the playoffs, it's basically an F. But you still got time to figure it out and make the playoffs. That's a grade that I would give them. And I think a lot of people on here would give them a much worse grade because Laker fans just have it out for Darvin Ham and they don't believe in him at all. At least that's the feedback I get. Or maybe there's more people that believe in him, but they're less vocal about it. But there's a lot of people that don't believe in him at all. Okay, couple more things I'm going to do here. Let me preview the Lakers and the Blazers for Sunday. I got some trade chatter that I want to get into from earlier today about the Dejounte Murray chatter. I'm doing a podcast tomorrow with Trevor Lane, and I want to talk about it for a quick second. I want to promote it. But let's get back here. Lakers versus Blazers. So Lakers, Blazers tomorrow. Portland's one of the worst teams in the NBA. And the funny thing about that is they've won 2 games in a row. They beat Brooklyn, who whooped the Lakers' ass today. Brooklyn didn't just barely win. Brooklyn whooped the Lakers' ass today. So they beat the Brooklyn Nets. Portland beat the Brooklyn Nets. And then earlier today, of course, the Portland Trailblazers beat the Indiana Pacers. Pascal Siakam played in this game. It was Siakam. It was Miles Turner, Tyrese Halliburton, Buddy Hield, Obi Toppin. Naismith's a nice player as well. TJ McConnell. It was everybody for the Indiana Pacers. Portland beat them 118-115. Who played for Portland? Jeremy Grant dropped 37. Malcolm Brogdon had 30. Damn. All right, so they had a couple. I don't think, if I'm right here, Portland still doesn't have, and I want to double check here. Portland still doesn't have Anthony Simons, right? He did not play tonight. So neither did Shaedon Sharpe. So they got a couple of their guys out. But the reason why I'm going to caution everybody right out the gate is because here's the Portland Trailblazers. They just won 2 games in a row. They're going to come in on Sunday. What the hell do they have to lose? They're playing with house money. They're not making the playoffs. Doesn't matter. Lakers are coming off a bad. And listen, will the Lakers probably wake up for that game because they lost this one? Probably, but maybe not. Who knows? But it gives you an idea what the Blazers are. They're 12-29. Anthony Simons may or may not play. Jeremy Grant's there. Obviously, DeAndre Ayton's there. Malcolm Brogdon's there. Portland, not exactly the most exciting team, but at the same time, what the hell do they got to lose? They got absolutely nothing to lose. So keep that one in mind as the Lakers got that game coming up on Sunday. Okay, trade chatter. See if there's any other good comments here. It's a Sunday game. Lakers are never ready for those. I wouldn't be shocked if the Blazers cook us on Sunday. Clippers, by the way, they'll play the Clippers on Tuesday, so that's going to be coming up. We have no dogs. We have no enforcers. I'm telling you, these lower seed teams get superpowers when they come to crypto, when they play at crypto. You might be right about all that. Earlier today, I think we all heard some of the trade chatter. So I was doing my show. There's a story out there, Jovan Buha, The Athletic, that the Lakers and the Atlanta Hawks, the two sides have discussed the framework of a deal, okay? And I'll tell you what the details were here. And it's kind of to be honest with you, I don't really, it's not really much of a conversation for me, and I'll tell you why, and I'll tell you what I mean by that. But this is what the deal was. The deal was the Lakers and the Hawks. This is the framework. Dejounte Murray goes to the Lakers. Atlanta receives D'Angelo Russell, Jalen Hood-Schifino, a 2029 first-round pick, and additional draft compensation. And then we saw some other stuff, basically like, that's the other stuff that we saw is basically, that's not going to happen, right? I'm going to tell you, it's a no-brainer. So if the Atlanta Hawks were willing to trade Dejounte Murray to the Los Angeles Lakers for D'Angelo Russell, Jalen Hood-Schifino, a first-round pick, and potentially some other draft compensation, so maybe some second-rounders or whatever it is, then I will personally buy the plane ticket for D'Angelo Russell to go to Atlanta. I'm not trying to be disrespectful to D'Angelo Russell. I'm really not. I don't think D'Angelo Russell is an awful player, but I think that if you can go out there and get a player of Dejounte Murray's caliber, and you could bring him to the Los Angeles Lakers, and he becomes your third best player, and he's 27 years old, and he's basically averaging 22, 5, and 5 a game, and he could be on this team with those two star players, it's a no-brainer. It's such a no-brainer that let's take the Lakers out of the picture for a quick second. Why does Atlanta want to do that? How there are not other teams that are lining up and saying, if that's what it costs to get Dejounte Murray, why isn't the Golden State Warriors putting together a package? Why isn't the Dallas Mavericks putting together a package? Why isn't any team that missed out on Pascal Siakam, that wanted Pascal Siakam, saying to themselves, okay, I know these are two different sides of players. They're not exactly the same style of players, but maybe we take some of these assets. We don't have to give up as much as what we're going to give up for Siakam. Let's go get Dejounte Murray. To me, this article and the excerpt also, it also said that the Lakers, what did it say about Austin Reeves? Have no interest. The Lakers value him highly and have no interest in trading him. and that was about Austin Reeves. So, again, I'm going to kind of go back to the original conversation that I was having. From a Laker perspective, makes all the sense in the world. Money, it makes sense. For what D'Angelo is making right now, actually the money will work, no problem. You're giving up some draft compensation. That's okay. I think Dejounte Murray, I like him not just this year, but I like him for the future of the Lakers as well, right? If he could be the third best player on your team when Bron decides that he hangs it up with the Lakers, cool. Go try to find, of course, another all-star that you could team up with Anthony Davis and Dejounte Murray. I like it for short term. I like it for long term. But I think the thing that sticks out to me more than anything else is if I'm the Atlanta Hawks, can't I get more for Dejounte Murray? I mean, it probably doesn't help. Go look at the Atlanta Hawks in the last 2 games. Dejounte Murray is at 2 game winners. What was the first game? Maybe against the Chicago Bulls. Maybe. I can't remember off the top of my head. And then tonight, down 2, he pulls up and hits a 3 in Miami. They beat the Miami Heat. The highlights of Murray over these last couple of games also takes him to another level. That's my hesitation with the deal. Not that the Lakers don't want to do it. It's that the Atlanta Hawks can get more for him. And the whole Austin Reeves is not touchable or not touchable, I guess you can call it. Why? Why would he be untouchable? Untouchable, not non-touchable. I just made up a word out of nowhere. That makes no sense. Why would he be untouchable? What if there's a trade out there that makes sense that you could obviously improve your team short-term, long-term? I'm a fan of Austin Reeves. I would like to see Austin Reeves stick around. If you can make a trade and get a guy like Dejounte Murray and you kept Austin Reeves, fantastic. But the whole untouchable thing and that trade with Atlanta just to me screamed, well, why is that going to happen? Why would the Atlanta Hawks do that? I'm less concerned about the Lakers doing that because I think the Lakers would do it in a heartbeat. All right, let's see what else we got here. Okay. Slee, I will split DeJounte's plane ticket with you. I'm in. I'll donate to that. We're basically already doing a GoFundMe on my YouTube tonight. Everybody's in. I'm not even going after D'Angelo Russell. D'Lo definitely needs to go. D'Lo's been playing better basketball. I'm not arguing that. I just have another preference. Somebody else says that they'll pay for his second checked bag. Second checked bag, I got to be honest, that could add up. So I really appreciate that, Eddie. Slee, the trade is definitely coming. I hope it does. The Bucks are interested too. Of course they are. Oh, yeah, that's right. I did see that article from, what was that, Chris Haynes that put that out? Why wouldn't they be? Why wouldn't they be interested? I think a lot of teams would be interested. He's a good player. All right. See what else we got here. I love in the chat where I'm just called an idiot, but I'm not really told why. Like, nobody, make your argument. You give me some more context. Can you give me some more information? Did you hear he's going to go to the Spurs? I saw something on that too, where he'd be, I think if I'm right, said something like he'd honored to play for Greg Pop again, or he's a father figure or something along those lines. So there's a lot of, there should be a lot of teams. He's a good player. He's a legit player, and he's locked up long term. And I think the money is actually very reasonable, in my opinion, for his skill set and everything else that he puts together. All right, let's see what else we got here. Okay, we got a couple things here, and then we're going to call it a night, Laker fans. Lakers get their asses kicked by the Brooklyn Nets. Get completely ran. Doing a podcast tomorrow. So, Hoops Talk Weekly. I did episode number 1. I think I mentioned to you guys what I'm going to do is whenever the Lakers have an off day on a weekend. So typically that's going to be on Saturdays. I'm going to do something that's a little bit more podcast form. So I'm not going to do it live. I'm just going to record it. And tomorrow I'm going to have Trevor Lane come on. This will be a little bit different too. Kind of, it's yes, we're going to talk Lakers basketball. We'll talk about this game. We'll talk about trades. We're going to do all that, but it's going to be a little bit more in depth about Trevor Lane as well. How long he's been at Lakers Nation, his role in helping build Lakers Nation to what it is today. Some of his goals and aspirations moving forward, how he became a Laker fan. I mean, just kind of get to know Trevor Lane a little bit different of a story of Trevor Lane. So I'm going to try to do that on a weekly basis with different people that I find interesting, that I think you guys will find interesting as well, has some type of tie specifically to the Lakers or to the NBA. So in that type of form. So I'm going to do that with Trevor. I'll post it tomorrow as well. I got a chance earlier today. So you guys have all seen this book, right? I don't know when I'm going to do it, but I got to figure this one out. So we've all seen this book, right? Kobe Bryant, The Mamba Mentality. If you guys look at the details here, and I know you guys won't be able to see it, I'm not going to try too hard there. Down there, it says photography by Andrew Bernstein. So Andrew Bernstein is an iconic photographer that was an iconic photographer for the NBA for years, and he still is. He's got all these iconic photos. I went and visited him today, and I've known him for years. Man, does this dude have some cool stories and have some unbelievable photos that he's taken over the years. He was telling me a story, and he's going to tell the story. And him and I got to find a date, but I'm going to go into his location. We'll record everything, and we'll just have a conversation about his interaction with some of the greats to ever play the game. He's got a really cool story. You know, he put together this book, this photography. He put together this book with Kobe. Him and Kobe put it together. And he was telling me a story today about how when he walked into his office initially, years ago, obviously, this was right before he retired, the idea and the concept that he had in mind, and show me the book of the first run of draft of photos that they were thinking before they put this thing together. And really, really cool photos. So at some point, I'll be doing a podcast with Andy Bernstein, and we'll take you guys behind the scenes and show you these, when I say iconic photos, some of the coolest freaking photos that I've ever seen. So it's kind of a backstage of the NBA. So I'll be doing that hopefully within the next month or so. But I got Trevor Lane coming up tomorrow. And that's all I got for tonight, Lake fans. See if there's a last couple comments here that I could put in here. Anybody else call me an idiot? Nope. I think that's it on the idiot stuff. Okay, T-Money. Look, T-Money, that's all I'm asking for. Just, give me a little bit more info. Just give me some more information. Nets got shooters and athletes. Lakers 29th in threes, and guards are little. Love the excuses for the Lakers. We'll just keep throwing out excuses. And then when they win one game, we're all going to talk about them like they're, churning the corner and they're unbelievable. This is who they are. They're 21 and 22. That's what they are. They're a game below 500. They're a very average team. They could lose any game on any given night. I appreciate you guys being a part of the show. Thank you for hanging out. Look out for that podcast tomorrow. I'll put it out tomorrow with Trevor Lane, and we'll go from there. Thank you, Lake fans. Appreciate it. Hope you guys have a good rest of your night. Enjoy your football. Enjoy the weekend. I'll see you guys back. When am I seeing you back? Sunday night after the Lakers take on the Portland Trailblazers. Let me get this last super in. So what do you think? No more fist bumps for Brock or boxing prowess till they get an impressive streak. What will it take to see a turnaround? Okay, it's the final answer I'm going to put in there. I appreciate you putting this in the last second here. Fist pumps, boxing. Yeah, you got to do it when the vibe is good. The vibe's not good off losses. What will it take to see a turnaround? Consistent play from role players. Consistent. They got to be there. And if they're not there on a night in, night out basis, and if the defense just shows up whenever they feel like it, and if you got a team that thinks they're better than they actually are and play nonchalant And if you got a squad that all of a sudden beats a Dallas and an OKC team and thinks, oh, guys, we're good, we don't have to worry about it, or they win an in-season tournament that's meaningless, oh, we'll turn it on whenever we want to. Until they kind of get that out of their head that they can lose any given night, I don't know if it turns around. Maybe a trade can get them there. Maybe not. I'm not 100% sure. That's all I got, Laker fans. Thank you for the super there. I appreciate it. Hope you guys have a great rest of your night. Thanks, Laker fans.